No one needs a visa to live in the Arctic archipelago of Svalbard, but it is Norwegian territory.
From the government side, they want this to be a Norwegian family society.
Foreigners feel ostracized.
The mayor and other local politicians don't care about my problems because I can't vote for them.
Will Svalbard remain an open society in the future? A long descent into the permafrost underground. Mia Slettas works in coal mine number 7 in Svalbard, the last operational Norwegian mine in the archipelago.
Now I'm doing blasting and mining, and I really fell in love with both mine and the Svalbard and all the people. So I'm originally from middle of Norway.
Mia started as a trainee in 2020, but for the past 2 years, she's been a full-time member of the team and the only woman among the male miners.
I think I am just curious. So somebody told me that Svalbard is a good place and maybe I should try to go there, and I did, and they were right. So from staying 3 weeks, I was supposed to stay for 3 weeks, and I stayed for 6 weeks and went home and packed all my stuff and moved here.
Today, Mia is making the mine safer by reinforcing its vault. Safety is top priority here. The working language in the mine is Norwegian, and most of the miners here are from Norway. However, a few individuals from other Scandinavian countries get by with Norwegian too. But up on the surface in Longyearbyen, it's more international.
Mostly I speak Norwegian. Most of my friends are Norwegian, but I do know people that are not, so we use a lot of English as well, and also it's almost impossible to order your food in Norwegian. So I have to speak English, and I think it's okay.
Coal and miners have long been symbols of Longyearbyen. However, in recent times, coal mining has decreased significantly, signaling a change in life on Svalbard toward tourism.
I haven't been to the place where the coal is directly mined, but I've been right up to the mine carts.
Valeria arrived in Svalbard 4 years ago. Initially, she worked as a tour guide in the Russian mining settlements of Barentsburg and Pyramiden on the archipelago. In 2021, she relocated to the Norwegian town of Longyearbyen. Valeria has continued working in the tourism sector and is striving to integrate into the community.
I'm trying to learn Norwegian because it makes sense to learn it living on Svalbard. I watch movies in Norwegian. That's how I discovered Scandinavia has really interesting films.
Valeria is Russian, but has Ukrainian citizenship and comes from Kherson in southeastern Ukraine. Her mother chose to stay. Valeria is staying with a friend and struggles to find a suitable permanent accommodation in Longyearbyen, with local authorities showing little concern.
I can't believe that there isn't some corner in the whole town where I can at least have a place to live with my dogs, especially if I can pay my rent. I mean, I pay taxes here. So I spoke to the lokalstyre. It's sort of like the local mayor's office. I basically told them I'm a Russian with a Ukrainian passport. I can't go back to any of the mainland countries that are somehow more or less native to me. I met the mayor's assistant who listened to me and harshly said, "This is the brutal reality. You must go back to the mainland if you have no place to live here."
Industrial Norwegian companies can offer housing for their employees, while non-Norwegians must find their own as demand increases. Life for foreigners in the town used to be easier, according to Elizabeth Bourne, originally from Seattle. She's been living in Svalbard for 7 years, runs an art gallery, and advocates for foreigners' rights. Bourne has witnessed a significant increase of new arrivals in Longyearbyen in recent years, now comprising more than a third of the town's population of over 2,000.
I think that there's a lot of anxiety about how this place is becoming less Norwegian than it used to be. Well, it used to be a coal mining town that was run by a Norwegian company and nobody else could live here. So of course it's changed, but I don't think the Norwegian government, when they decided to promote tourism as a replacement industry for coal mining, realized that one of the things that would come with tourism would be a large number of non-Norwegians.
The Svalbard Treaty, signed in 1920, grants Norway sovereignty over the archipelago while ensuring equal access to resources and fair treatment for all parties, fostering a unique international community on the islands. Today, the majority of non-Norwegians in Svalbard work in the tourism sector. Concerned about the increasing number of foreigners on the archipelago, Norwegian authorities 2 years ago restricted their voting rights. To vote or stand for election in the local council, one must have resided on the mainland for 3 years. The Norwegian authorities argue that this requirement ensures a good understanding of Svalbard policy and framework. In response, a silent protest emerged, displayed at the Elizabeth Gallery, echoing the voices of those non-Norwegians who are fearful or unable to speak due to their precarious positions.
Taking the vote away is one of the ways to keep people from feeling like this is a good place to be. I think very much that Norway would like to Norwegianize Longyearbyen, but the way that they're doing it also alienates the Norwegians here. You cannot Norwegianize a place when you have 40% of your population cannot speak the language, and they can't speak the language because there are no language classes, and there haven't been for a very long time.
Tarja Aunevik, the mayor of Longyearbyen, was elected last fall under changed election rules, which excluded many local foreigners from participating. Despite Svalbard's unique status, Tarja emphasizes that it remains a part of Norway, albeit an unconventional one.
Still, we're just making more and more Iron Curtain, like people come to Longyearbyen to work, and it's up to you when you arrive here to, how shall I say, take care of yourself. And that's not only for foreigners, that's even for Norwegian. We have lesser rights here compared to mainland, even as a Norwegian. That's quite important also, a part of the picture. From the government side, they want this to be a Norwegian family society. But the growth in number of people has been mainly going into for foreigners. That doesn't mean that foreigners are not welcome, but the government wants it to be a better balance. And then they have to make policy that makes this better balance. And sometimes that can be considered as tighten up the grip, kind of. So
the rules in Norway are very liberal, and I don't think Norway wants to have that kind of liberality here because they feel a need to keep more control here because this is such an open community. I don't blame Norway for their concerns, but I do think they're going about trying to achieve their goals in a way that actually is going to do the exact opposite.
The Svalbard Treaty has been responsible for the balance for a century. Non-Norwegians view recent changes as a restriction of their rights, despite the prohibition of discrimination in the Svalbard Treaty. The local newspaper Svalbardposten closely monitors this issue.
There was a lot of frustration and sorrow amongst the non-Norwegian inhabitants of Longyearbyen because a lot of people have lived here for a long time and been kind of part of the local democracy, been in lokalstyre, and maybe see Norway and Longyearbyen as a sort of a community that they want to take part of, and like the Norwegian democracy. So there was a lot of feelings and frustration.
The restriction of rights means that two groups, Norwegians and non-Norwegians, exist side by side, especially in political terms.
The mayor's aide, the mayor, and any other local politician don't care at all if I have a place to live or not, or what my problems are. They're not interested in helping, as I cannot give them my vote.
Elizabeth plans to continue raising awareness about the challenges faced by non-Norwegians in Svalbard. Despite her love for the Arctic, she has chosen to leave and reunite with her family.
No one stays here forever. This is not a place where you can live forever. I have a 4-year-old granddaughter, and as my son reminds me that if I intend to know her, then I need to be near her, and sending photos of me on a snowmobile isn't going to make it. So I will leave next year, and I know that.
Valeria hopes to be successful in finding accommodation in Svalbard, but would move to the European mainland if necessary. Mia's life lacks stability as the mine is set to close next year. Norway is relinquishing its coal legacy in Svalbard.
But I've been looking into going through Australia, Greenland, because I really like mining. So I would like to keep doing that. But I'm also open to be a mechanic again on the mainland. And, yeah.
Life here doesn't suit everyone. Months of sunshine, then months of darkness and the Arctic cold. It still managed to draw in many internationals because of its unique environment and the visa-free work opportunities. But the new law has undoubtedly made living together more difficult.